Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast, and I am so excited and delighted to introduce you to my beautiful friend Karley, and she is a doula as well as a facilitator of women's circles, mother blessings, and closing ceremonies. So Karley lovingly started as a birth and postpartum doula, supporting women through the sacred portal of pregnancy, birth, and beyond. And witnessing women being surrounded by a greater force, it led to her to exploring this more and then facilitating women's circles, mother blessings, and closing ceremonies. And I know her, and she loves all parts of life and all the ceremonies and beautiful flow that's in that. So welcome, Karley, and it's very delightful to have you.
Oh, thank you, beautiful Catherine. It's beautiful to be here with you too.
So I guess explain to people listening what a doula actually is and how you got into facilitating these beautiful women's circles that you run.
Yes. So for me, working as a doula, I just wanted to support women in all stages of leading up to pregnancy and being there for that moment and afterwards. And it was when I had, I feel like it had actually always kind of like been in the background for me. It was a word that came up even when I was working at the hospital. Now I think of it. So I worked for a team of specialists and obstetrician, and midwives were there, and this word doula was still circling around. So I feel like it had kind of always been there for me. And then it just came when I was pregnant with my second. I just went, I'm just doing it. And all the times I'd Google searched, what is a doula? Doula training, how to become a doula. You know how you just, but I feel like I'm a slow burner. When I get an idea, it takes a little while for it to really resonate and to build. So I trudged off to go do some doula training up in the mountains with my big belly. I think I was maybe 8 months or 7 months pregnant.
Because that's what everyone's thinking at 7 to 8 months pregnant. Let's start a new career.
Right, but I'm very lastminute.com. So everything I do is like at the last minute. So it was very much like, if I want to do this, now's my moment. And I just really embodied everything that came with discovering birth, the energetics of birth, the spiritual connection, and it changed everything for me personally. With all of those little doors just opened up wide. And then when she was probably 18 months, I supported my first birth, and it was a beautiful Maori woman who was free birthing at home, connecting to ancestral practices, and it just every cell in my body just went, this is where I need to be. And it felt like a remembering, like I have done this before. I was just living and breathing it and lived for it, and still do, but in a different capacity. So went on to support many births, all different types of births to start with. So hospital births, free birthing women, home birthing women, and just got to witness so many, like, I'll have them till the day that I die, the moments and memories, like, of just watching women do the most incredible transformative thing that is on offer for a woman to do in their whole life.
And then watching those beautiful new souls coming into the world.
That first breath.
Yeah.
That first breath is just everything. It's such a sacred honor. Doesn't even give the experience justice, to witness a woman in that moment. And like you said, that coming of a soul into that body, it's just, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. But then I felt, okay, we're having all these babies, but I kind of felt like we needed to backtrack a little bit. Like, I felt like women really needed to be comfortable in their own bodies and with themselves and with their choices, and really deeply knowing what they wanted, like in the marrow of their bones, you know. But when it comes to something that they've not done before, they're really tricky skills to acquire.
And I feel that's like something that, being a mum myself, like when it's your first as well, it doesn't matter if it's your first, your second, because each child is so unique, and comes with their own special set of lessons for us, but feeling that like I should be doing this or I should be doing that, or and people telling you how you should be acting, and you feeling like that doesn't resonate with me, like especially sleep can be a big thing. Like everyone has these expectations that babies should just be able to learn to sleep really quickly, but that's not it at all, so, and then how to honor yourself and trust in yourself as a mum to actually honor what you're feeling.
All of that, my love. Definitely with how being able to make those choices, like where do you want to birth your baby, even conceiving your child, when are you calling that little soul into your womb space, and all of that stuff, which I just thought we need to go further back here, and that kind of led me down the path of doing the training to facilitate the blessings and the circles. And some circles I started, there was only me and 2 other women, but I just kept on doing them because I could see the seeds that I was planting, and I feel like that's it for me, like being able to just plant those seeds. It's like when we hear new information, you always kind of soak in and drink in what you need to know, and it will land. So I trust that will always serve the women that come to the circles, is that. And same with blessings, the mother blessings is, it's so beautiful when a woman says, I want to have a mother blessing, but none of my friends have been there. I think, goody gumdrops, because we're being able to show women that there's a different way to honour these rites of passages that we have the privilege and the honour of passing through in our lives. They're not just a mundane event, it's how babies are born matters, and how mothers are felt in the lead up to conception, birth and labour and postpartum really matters.
Yeah.
And it matters to me.
And I feel it's, again, honouring that when I opened and shared that with you, it's honouring those cycles of life, and that, and that's something I feel that's been lost through our culture and through time, not honouring the divine feminine and the woman, like those, that, it's like a witchy thing, but those 3 aspects of life, when you become a mother, but then also when you become the wise woman, at the end.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I seriously cannot wait.
When you become that matriarch and that wisdom, and rather than having that perspective that we've been put out to pasture, realising that is when we can come into our full wisdom and be there to guide at that part of life too, and just honouring that too.
100%. Yeah. And I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I found too, working with clients, it doesn't matter if you have children or not, you still need to honour that you have this womb that, like, as a woman, that we've been given. And apologies to any men who are listening, but you can now empathise with your partner. And it's like, it's just that honouring that we don't get taught that. We don't get taught, like, oh, okay, you've got your first period. This is a big change. Rather, my experience was, oh yeah, the pads are under the sink.
Yeah, but that's your rite of passage. That's the first rite of passage that a girl crosses past, and what we know from that rite of passage is how we're treated and made to feel, and what we've learned from that rite of passage is what we take to our next rite of passage, which is birth.
Yeah.
Same as with birth, how we're made to feel, and that experience goes on to our next rite of passage, which is menarche.
Yeah.
Menopause.
Yeah.
I knew
what you meant.
Yeah.
And I guess it's that honouring that to bring that back is like really, really
special.
important. And I know you, you've got 2 beautiful girls. I know with your oldest, you do little circles with her and her friends to really honour different time passages and things.
Yeah, that was really special. We did the 8th birthday circle because it's honouring that next little phase of the journey that they're going into their life. And I have never been a mum of an 8-year-old, so it was being really honest with her and just saying, I've never done this, you've never been 8, I've never mothered an 8-year-old, let's just do this together. So we gave the girls some tools so they can try and communicate with us. We gave them a little book. So the idea of the book is that they can just write in the book and slip it under the pillow, and we can communicate with each other that way, and it opens up that
communication and trust.
That everything's safe and you can share with me, because sometimes I feel that I can miss the boat, whether I'm rushing around or doing something, or even not rushing around. I'm, just planting seeds really in the garden, or and she might be needing me, but this is a way of being able to just say, I'm here, and then I can create and carve some more time out and be really intentional with how we're having those conversations. And I found some beautiful animal affirmation cards.
Perfect.
Just beautiful. Yeah, it was really lovely.
Yeah, and again, it's
more of that. I think.
And it's again coming back to honouring, those different stages, and to think, your little 8-year-old self, a lot does change. Like when you start to think about that, because you're starting to come out of that, I guess, that child feeling, and you're starting to work towards puberty, and working into those pre-teen years, and that like big energy and big changes with that.
And we know that children are coming into their physical bodies at 7, like when they're losing their teeth. So they've also got lots of big changes.
Yeah, and they grow.
Big stuff.
Like lengthwise more than...
So why not celebrate and honour that and really hold hands and dance with that, as opposed to saying, oh, they're just unbearable and they're too hard to work with and I don't know what's happening. Like, let's just really swim in that, like that real, like, floating in the ocean of 8-year-olds and all they've got to bring to the world. Like with everything. Like, that's what I love about the circles, is that you can just be. You can be who you are. You just drop everything and just come as you are, and we will listen. When we're not here to solve problems, just here to be witnessed. That's
and I guess that leads into the next question I have burning, which is like, what happens in a women's circle? So
well, my women's circles, as far as I know, everyone does circles a little bit differently. I tend to kind of follow the same flow and rhythm after doing them for so many years. I just find that it works. So I call in the 4 directions and ask for protection and guidance, and then you can feel the energy dip down a little lower. Everyone calls themselves present into the space. Then I lead a meditation based on the season, what's happening with the moon, where we're at. And usually it's a guided meditation, and then everyone's allowed to have, their own experience. And you can really see how women, they just start to melt into themselves and just form who they are, which is so beautiful. And they're starting to connect with their intuition more, which you can see. And that's when they will just intuitively choose a card and draw a card and start to journal. And then after the meditation, I always do a sharing circle. And so women can choose, everything is always an invitation. So they can share as much or as little as they wish to. And everyone is allocated time. They can either go from the prompts on the card, which I lovingly laminate and put them in a little box. So, because it's sometimes nerve-wracking for someone who hasn't been to a circle before and knows that she's holding on to a lot and needs to let out. I don't have tissues at circle anymore because there's no problem to cry. Tears are allowed to flow. We don't need to, have a clutch of tissues and pass them to the next person. It's fine, and it's a beautiful lesson for other women to be able to sit with the sometimes discomfort of watching someone else feel uncomfortable.
And it's like,
I love being able to do that in a beautiful space.
And it's like not being apologetic for crying and having these emotions. And that it's so healthy to let it out. Whereas we've been told, there's all those stereotypes that fly around, like, oh, only women cry, or men don't cry, or,
absolutely.
All these things where it's, well, actually, no, it's so powerful to let those tears flow. Even
I was having my little nearly 8-year-old discussion about what are happy tears. You know, and then it's like, it's letting the emotion come out. It's letting that freedom that, okay, it's okay to cry.
And tears are in fact salty, and salt is healing. So how beautifully designed is our body that these lovely salty drops can come from our soul windows and flow when needed to heal our body. It's actually one of my circle agreements that you don't need to apologize for tears, and words are sacred. You know, you treat your own words as a beautiful sacred prayer, as well as you receive that sacred prayer from other women, so it doesn't go and it's not repeated outside of the circle, and you can feel that beautiful deep sisterhood connection that we just love and honor each other in all stages of their life.
And it's too, like, that links in with, like, a little while ago I released a Substack article, and it was about what you say matters. You know, it was like, you know,
doesn't it ever?
That positive self-talk, we get that negative self-talk, you know, even just saying, you know, I'm stupid, well then you're feeling into that resonance. And women, we often forget to support other women and tell them that they're not that. You know, yeah.
Absolutely.
For those of you, because you can't see it, but Karley's doing a little dance. You know, and we forget to support women. We forget to
hold them and love them and just and celebrate them in all stages.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and even a lot of people who I come into contact with, I just remind them how freaking amazing they are and what a powerful job they're doing and how courageous they are, whether they're supporting a partner who's unwell or, you know, holding down the fort while almost single mumming it because their husband has to go away for work, or, you know, maybe they're a single mum and they're just being amazing doing these things, or being the breadwinner because they need to be and still trying to find that balance to be the mum as well, and to be and even if they don't have children, to be the light of feminine energy that they want to bring in the world.
For some people, even waking up is courageous.
Yes, especially if they're in pain.
And let's just start with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I have this client just pop in my head when you said that, and every day that she gets up and she chooses to keep fighting and to keep being brave and to keep bringing her light in the world is a celebration in itself.
Yeah. And that's why I love doing the circles, because it gives women that opportunity to stop, you know, to stop everything, to make a plan, to go to this space, this liminal space almost, where time often doesn't exist.
Nope.
And just be with themselves, like to truly just sit with themselves.
And drop all the masks.
And each other.
Yeah. And drop all the masks and be authentically you.
Yes. Yeah.
And I love that you set up that space, that safe space to let people be authentic, because often finding our tribe where we can be just ourselves and say what we're thinking or what we're feeling without that judgment is such a powerful thing to have in the world.
Yeah. And I guess again, after having my own children, you know, you're at the park and you're breastfeeding and you're chasing toddlers, and I thought, I don't want to talk about what's in my lunchbox. Like, I've got these really big feelings coming through my body and passing through my body, and just a catch up at the park wasn't cutting the mustard anymore. Like, women need this, and men need this also, where I'm sure men can find a beautiful space for men to have, you know, their moment, but definitely for women being able to just create that space for them. That beautiful out-breath.
And I know we always joke, because when Karley and I go out for lunch and things together, we don't have these sugar conversations. No. We talk about
how do you want to die
and bodily functions, and you know, and it's just knowing that you find someone that you can be that truly.
Well, that was one of our first conversations, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. we skipped the small talk. It's just like, oh, hi. Okay, well, you know, this happened.
Yeah. Yeah, but imagine if we were that confident in all aspects of our life that we could really just tell people how we want to die, how we bleed, all the things that turn us on, that turn us off, that we are so knowing.
Yeah. And just owning that
Gosh.
femininity and that
Yeah.
sensuality and, you know,
Yeah.
but also being able to talk about it with people, because sometimes things happen and we think, oh,
I'm alone. It's just
alone.
me. Yeah.
That's it.
And the threads that are connected during a circle, I don't think there's been one circle where I have never not been mind blown with just the synchronicities from, you know, this woman over here, what would you know, is sharing the same story as this woman, or this woman over here has just had that exact same experience. And afterwards you could, like, we all walk in as strangers and there's new women that come and go, and that's completely fine. I've got women that come to every single circle. I've had women that have just come once and left for whatever reason. I always trust that people are where they need to be, but you can never predict and preempt who is coming and the crossing of paths. And I think that is cool. That is so beautiful to be able to just go, who would have thought, huh?
Yeah, and even when I go to meditation circle, it's funny because we'll share our intention.
Same
and
thing.
Then half of us, like half of the room will have one and half of the room will have others, and we've been seeing each other for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and yet we're all there trying to move the same energy or move whatever it is. And like you said, it's this serendipitous thing where, or you'll be sharing what happened and then they'll go, oh my gosh, that resonates for me, you know, or oh yeah, that happened for me as well, or you know, or it might be someone shares something and they're like, oh, I wish I just had this, and then one of us will just go, oh, actually this happened, and you could probably talk to this person, you know, and it's that community and that network, and not just between women but between all souls.
Absolutely, because we're all here having a human experience, right? And isn't that a wild ride? So why can't we just all unite having that beautiful human experience and share?
Yeah. Imagine if
it's a no-brainer to me.
I know, but I feel it's
all the other stuff.
It's all the other stuff. It's all the programs and the beliefs.
Getting rid of all that other stuff and just being who we're meant to be.
That's it. And being present and being in the moment and not letting our ego drive our decisions, rather trusting our heart and our intuition, which we have been so conditioned to turn off. You know, like, oh yeah, you can't just say I was a gut feeling. It's like, why not?
Since when?
Since when?
Yeah.
You know.
And again, birth, you need that for birth. That's our biological design, to go in this space of an intuitive flow and to follow those little whispers of what you're being told to do.
Yeah. I had a client's mum and she was adamant for her third, which was a surprise pregnancy in itself.
Okay.
But she was adamant she was going to have a home birth because she always wanted one. And she ended up being 3 weeks overdue, and I say that lightly because it's just when the baby needs to be born. But she was really going to honour when the baby was going to come, and she was still healthy, the baby was still healthy.
Absolutely.
And she ended up having this beautiful home birth. And then the drama started after that, where the baby wasn't sleeping well and she was very refluxy, and she kept going to the doctor saying she has reflux and that sort of thing, and no one would really listen to her. But she's like, I know this isn't normal, you know, this is, you know. And then she started to find other solutions because she was trusting her intuition. And I said to her, you trust that? I said, I know exactly what you're going through, because my little one was refluxy too, until I realized it was dairy triggering it, you know. And it was just that process of honoring that and following that intuition. And you know, I've heard other parents who will go into an appointment and then they'll leave and they'll go, that didn't feel right because that didn't resonate with me. But then they think because someone else said that, then that's true.
It's confusing, isn't it?
And it is really confusing.
Because it's a new situation. Yeah,
exactly. And it's about having that tribe and that safe space where you can actually then go, hey, this happened. What, have you had that, or do you know anyone that's had that experience that I can talk to as well? Because we forget too that we don't have to do it alone.
Absolutely. No, we don't.
No.
You can always call in the support and knowing that they're there whenever needed.
whenever needed.
Yes.
That's
and
it.
women are probably some of the most helpful people. Men also. I love men, don't get me wrong, but you know, you ask a woman to help you and of course they will.
That's it.
Of course they will, but you know, sometimes we hold on to all this stuff and we don't want to ask for help because I don't want to inconvenience them. I don't want to be a problem.
Or you purposely...
They think I'm weak, I can't cope because I'm asking for help.
Or you purposely ask the wrong person who you know will give you a no to reinforce that you can't be supported.
Oh, that's crafty. I've never done that.
Yeah, I've met people who have done that. They keep asking these people and I'm like, but you know they're not going to say yes to you, so why do you keep asking them?
Wow.
Yeah. Just
interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, it's these things that we do to ourselves as humans, you know, that to support, like, if whenever I ask for help, I get a no, but then you'll purposely go ask someone to get a no.
It's discomfort, isn't it? It's like like not pushing, but like lovingly walking to that place of discomfort, because there's that threshold, and once you cross that threshold, it's vast.
Yeah.
The opportunities are vast, but it's you know, we just want to be comfortable.
It's like
sometimes.
It's like birth. You have to push through that pain to get that beautiful reward of your child in your arms. You know, and yes, it's no judgment here if you wanted to do pain medication, epidural, had to do that's the journey your body had to go through.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, it's finding that space that won't actually judge you for that. You know, like, oh, I couldn't breastfeed. Or I could breastfeed.
So much.
You know, and there's
but again, if we just rewound and if we just all accepted lovingly for each other, wouldn't that be easy?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just be easy?
That's it. And knowing that you can maybe say to someone, oh, hey, this worked for me, and not then go into a reaction of like they're judging me,
just
but rather they're just sharing.
Just plant the seeds. This worked. I did this. I tried this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's up to you if you want to water it and
make it grow. If it resonates with you, if it doesn't resonate with you, and then again coming back to that intuition and trusting that. You know, this is right for me. This is right for my child. This isn't right for me. Yeah. Don't judge me because I'm not doing what you're doing.
And I feel like with the circles, it does go back to that. We were talking about the discomfort and the discomfort of being witnessed and sharing how you're feeling without anybody interjecting and without anybody saying, I'm really sorry that happened. Just share and just be witnessed in that moment. And then when they finish speaking, we say, these are my words, and everyone repeats and say, thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And it's
done. You can feel the shift.
Yeah. And it's a compassion rather than that sympathy and empathy, because that compassion's from that higher vibrational frequency of, I know, I feel you, and I see you, and I hear you, and I get it. Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's just, you know,
And I just love that. I love giving that to women. I love giving that opportunity and that invitation for a woman to feel that, when they feel that no one's hearing them, no one's seeing them, no one's understanding them, no one's witnessing them, they're not being seen, all of that, like, and to just have that beautiful, delicious, yummy moment of, here I am.
This is me.
Yeah.
And I am perfect the way I am.
Yes.
I am exactly how I'm meant to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what I look like. Doesn't matter what I sound like. Doesn't matter if I've got tears strolling down my cheek. I am here, and I am roaring. I'm the woman.
Yeah. And I love to just see them all like cuddle each other and hug each other. See you next week. See you next time. And off they go and just have their own little experience in the world, and they'll swan back again, and we do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. And then
it's beautiful.
Having this beautiful space.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, and I guess too, it's a chance that you can honour those different things as well. And I'm sure being as a doula, just seeing that, you know, at the start, but then also being able to provide that safety and that hand to be held if it was needed. It's not you, it's empowering people to say,
absolutely,
I can do this.
And women don't need a doula in their birth space. In fact, they just need that person to guide them where they need to be, because I've got the bag with all the bullshit stuff in there, but in fact they don't need anything in the bag. There's nothing that I can give them that they don't already have within their own body, but it's just unlocking that potential, you know, them realizing and feeling that, experiencing that for themselves.
Yeah, and truly just going, I've got this, you know.
Yes, you do.
But then
yes,
knowing that you also have that safety net there can be great too.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I've got a nice comfortable pad that you can kneel on,
Yeah,
and here's some banksia seeds that you can squeeze. Like, of course, they're all lovely tools to complement the process, but
yeah, exactly.
also not needed.
No, and what I've learned too with life, with birth, with anything,
Yeah.
if you have a plan, it doesn't mean it will happen.
Yeah, because there's always like babies. This could be another whole chat within itself, but babies truly do know how to be born and when to be born, and sometimes their plan is different to ours, or sometimes the plan can change. And I've seen it, and I know it, I feel it.
Yeah, and it's just being okay with that.
Yeah.
And just being like, okay, this is the new plan.
Absolutely.
Let's flow.
Because they are divine little knowing beings, and we are a loving vessel for them to move through, and it's being able to again hold space for that, and that it can change, and you can be planning to birth in a particular place and the plan changes, or your birth may, you know, you preempt it's going to look a particular way, but at the end of the day you'll always have the birth that you need to have.
Yeah,
to go on to know what you need to know, to do what you need to do, to parent that child, and to be the woman that you need to be.
Yeah, and I guess too, from my own birth experience, you know, for me it was about claiming back that power.
Was it?
That I felt got taken away
It's
from
a
having
huge
doctors
theme.
tell me what to do and midwives telling me what to do.
Okay.
And it was like taking back that power. But for me, if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't have learnt to find my voice, to roar, so that no one could tell me how to raise my child or how to treat my body. And that's what I gained from that experience. So I don't look back at it negatively, I look at it as a chance to grow. So it's the same with any person's birth experience.
Yeah.
And even the partner in that, you know, and what they go through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're very entitled to have their own experience, and they're not just someone standing in the corner of the room.
No.
They have such a beautiful role to play, because babies are born how babies are made.
Yeah.
And we know that those beautiful chemicals of a man just standing next to you, they make you feel beautiful, and they're the hormones that we need to birth our babies. So
That's it.
men need to be in the birth space and offer that beautiful, loving, masculine protection and energy.
Yeah.
It's magic.
It is.
But it's also not, like, it's actually just really normal.
Well, it depends,
Right.
because we've been so conditioned that this is what it should look like,
yes,
you know? And
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, even with calm birth and, you know, like birthing programs, you know, I felt like I failed because I wasn't quiet, and I wasn't taking my in breaths 2, 3, out breaths 4, 5. No, like, that was kind of my own journey, you know, that this is my own experience, and I'm entitled to have my own experience.
And I feel that's like, even being a healer, you learn different things and you take in that, but it doesn't necessarily fit you. Like, you just take aspects of that and put it in your toolbox. And it's the same, you know, you might do these birthing courses, or hypnobirthing, or calm birthing, or whatever it might be, but in the end, your body is unique to you, and you need to honor that. And whatever experience you have, that's fine. You don't have to be quiet, or you don't have to sit on the ball, or
you also don't need to birth in a unicorn in a cave with unicorns.
No, that would be amazing.
Either.
Could you imagine?
Do you know,
having
like,
unicorns
if
around
you really want to birth your baby
Yeah.
in a hospital,
Yeah.
then that's where you need to birth your baby.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
End of story. You don't need to explain that to anyone.
No.
I think, and vice versa. If you do want to be in a cave with unicorns, Absolutely, my love.
Oh gosh, that'd be amazing.
Let's go.
Let's call in the fairies and the elves and
do
let's
that.
just have
I'm
a
all
very
for it.
grounding thing.
But if that's what you want, let's go do that.
That's it. So I guess I feel that's the biggest message, is just to honor who you are.
Absolutely.
And what's right for you.
I feel that too.
Yeah.
Bumper sticker that.
Bumper sticker that. Honor you.
Honor you.
Honor you.
Be you.
Do you.
Trust you.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just be your amazing, sovereign, divine self. Yeah. So, there's a question I ask everybody who I interview.
Ooh la la.
So, if you could change one thing in the world or heal one thing in the world, what would it be? What would you leave that parting message with?
That women just remember their divine path and their divine purpose.
Beautiful. So important.
Yeah.
So important. And the men listening, that goes for you too.
Oh, because there's feminine, absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, thank you. So
it was so beautiful.
So beautiful. Always beautiful.
Isn't it always?
So if anyone wants to contact Karley, I'll leave her details in the show notes for you. And as always, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.